If this episode didn't show how far Din Djarin will go to get Grogu back, nothing will. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Mandalorian. But before we do that, I must say, Disney, are you freaking crazy? I mean, seriously, all those announcements from late last night, from the middle of this time of last night, and you give us all that in one fell swoop? Are you trying to blow our heads up? Because that's exactly what you did. You blew my head off. I mean, all those titles for MCU, all those titles for Star Wars, I wouldn't even know where to begin with all that. But I wanted to just throw it out there right now, guys, just to let y'all know what my reaction was to all that. And if you guys are wondering if I'll be making a video of it, if y'all want to know my full thoughts on it, look for that come Monday, because unfortunately I'm going to be working all this weekend, so I won't have time to do it through the weekend, but expect it Monday. Now, having said all that though, I still can't believe it. That just, you guys just blew my head off. But now, having all said that, we must move on into the episode. And like I said, guys, Din Djarin will do anything to get Grogu back, and he showed it right here in this episode. Which, for an episode, not what I was expecting going forward. I was expecting maybe a little more, but was I disappointed? No, I still like this episode, as it helped us get a little fresher, as it helped take us back to an old friend of his, an old enemy is more like it, and that is a guy named Mayfield, one of the bounty hunters he was working with back in episode 6 of season 1. So, as you all know, it started at where it all left off in the last episode. Mando went to Kara, who's now a Marshal of the New Republic, and at first she was hesitant to help Mando, but when she heard that Grogu was captured, her demeanor just changed, and her expression was just like, I was just like, Auntie Kara is mad. She is pissed. And rightfully so. No hesitation and deciding to bend the rules just to save that little one. Showing that Kara, when it comes to someone she cares about, she'll bend the rules, but she will make sure to try to do it at least to where it doesn't affect her. Because, yeah, she goes over to where Mayfield's kept prisoner, and that is how he ends up getting in the hands of Mando. And boy, first off, let me just say, during that time when they went over to meet with Mando, we got a chance to see Boba Fett in his armor. And oh man, does it look awesome. It is all nice and clean. I've always known him in the live action movies to have his armor all damaged, all dirty and stuff. And look at it now, it just looks amazing. I wish we could have had a chance to see it in action, but considering we saw most of that in last week's episode, even if it may have been damaged and dirty, it's all good there. And besides, we still got next week's, the final episode before we end season 2, to see more of the action of Boba Fett in action, but I definitely can't wait for it. But let's go ahead and move on, because this was all about Mayfield working with Mando to try to find Moff Gideon's location. To do that, though, they go to a planet called Morak, where there's an Imperial mining hub at, and it is there that Mando and Mayfield have to work together to infiltrate a little shipment going on. A shipment of what do they call it? Rudonium, basically their version of plutonium. And all I gotta say is, during that time, it really helped us to really see an interesting side here. First off, in the fact that after taking over it, they dressed up as stormtroopers. That's just become a signifying thing of an Easter egg there, call back to A New Hope, because that happened in Star Wars Rebels and other stuff, so no surprise on that one there. But it's always a good Easter egg to see people dressing up as stormtroopers just to infiltrate a place, just like in Rogue One, actually. But either way, though, what I did like was during that time, Mayfield and Mando had a little chat, or mostly Mayfield did, having a chat with Mando, as Mando's just pretty much staying silent and being like, oh, shut up, will ya? But it did bring up a good spot in Mayfield saying that how like they are a bit similar to each other, and he's not wrong. They are a little similar to each other because as Mayfield mentioned to Mando, when things get bad, he'll do anything. And in this case right now for Mando, aka Din Djarin, he is right now desperate to want to get Grogu back because, well, like Grogu's like a father to him. I mean, Din Djarin sees Grogu as a son. He doesn't admit it, but he's never said that. But he don't need to say it. His expression says it all, as it was shown once they got to the mining, before having to actually deal with some pirates who were trying to blow up the Rhodonium, which, by the way, great seeing Mando in action there, although since he usually wears Beskar, he was kind of clumsy in that fight, which was kind of funny. But either way, moving back into the infiltrating the base thing, this is where we really got to see how far Mando Din Djarin will go to rescue Grogu. He's always promised as a Mandalorian to never show his face to anyone, no matter what. No one removes his helmet. He don't remove his helmet. He doesn't show his face to anyone. But there was the only way. The only way they were gonna find location was through, yeah, an internal hub or something. Just basically something to get a location on Moff Gideon. And the only way to do that was to show your face. And yeah, you would think that even that won't stop Mando from showing his face. It won't stop Din Djarin from showing his face. But it did, because he did that. Din Djarin showed his face. Once again, we see his face. This time, though, not all battle damaged and everything. But to see his face without the helmet and seeing him not really say much of anything, especially when this Imperial officer comes in and looks like he's about to expose him. But luckily, Mayfield steps in to help him out, that we really get to see how he looks without the helmet. But to be honest, it's pretty much the same expression I kind of usually see with him when it comes to people he doesn't trust or is not all fond with or considers enemies. Just a blank stare and being like, "Will you? Can we hurry up and just get out of here?" or something like that. But what really got me interested here was Mayfield, as he was talking about his time as an Imperial to that officer, since he knew that officer, he worked with that officer, and it reveals to us what happens and shows us a more I guess you could say honorable, not human side, because bounty hunters are just people who are out there trying to make a living. That doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just bounty hunters. But they still have criminal records, and Mayfield did too, but at the same time, he still has a conscience as well. As he showed here when he talked about an operation called Operation Cinder, that was that whatever that was, in the end, it ended in disaster with him as the sole survivor, as an entire city and his division was destroyed by this officer who used all the rhodonium and stuff to destroy that place but him. And that really left a bad taste in Mayfield's mouth. And then when he hears that officer was going to do 10 times that to what's going on that planet, on the planet they're on, ooh, he got pissed that he was just like, "Fuck you," and shot that place up. They just started shooting the place off on fire. And luckily they had Cara, Finnick, and Boba Fett with them to make it out alive and stuff. But still, to see that moment from Mayfield to show that even he doesn't like how the Imperial will just abandon people and just throw them to the side like that was sheer genius. I loved it. And hey, that seemed to be enough to now set him free, because they now got their coordinates and they decided they grew respect for him, that they're going to be like, Mayfield died and now he's free. Although reportedly he died in that explosion of the mining of the Imperials. But with that all said, the ending was the best part of all, because it showed here more than ever how much Din Djarin cares for Grogu, how much Grogu means to Din Djarin, as he sent a message to Moff Gideon that was basically copying what Moff Gideon did when he made his entrance in the season finale of season 1. and the end of Episode 7. Yes, it was beautiful and I loved every minute of it. I couldn't stand it. I was like, that was beautiful. And it just got me very hyped for what's coming next week as we get to the final episode, where I no doubt believe Bo-Katan will be there. I don't know about Ahsoka though, but definitely Bo-Katan, and I can't wait to see how things go. Now, is this saying that they'll get Grogu back on this side? I don't know yet, but either way, I am definitely looking forward to it. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there, guys, because I gotta leave here. I gotta leave here, hit the shack, and go to sleep so I can wake up early. But if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, this is The Way, and Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!